Among women between 35 and 55, only 12% say they notice muscle size in fit men over 60. The other 88%, their answers are going to surprise you. And if you're over 55, you need to hear this. A 62-year-old man walks into a coffee shop, shoulders back, arms that fill out his Henley just right. 3 women glance up from their laptops. They don't look away. Now, you might think it's the muscle that caught their attention. You'd be half right. What women won't admit about muscular men over 60. And honestly, they probably don't even realize it themselves. I've spent years observing this dynamic. In social settings, at events, watching how women respond versus what they say they respond to. There's a gap, a big one. And that gap? It's costing you. Before we jump in, tell me where you're watching from in the comments below. I want to know who's tuning in. So what are women actually responding to when they see a fit older man? It's not what the fitness industry tells you to focus on. Not even close. And the guys who figure this out, they don't just get noticed, they get remembered. Number 1, why the gym isn't the full story. So why do women respond to a fit 62-year-old differently than they did when he was 32 and had the same build? That's the part nobody talks about. When you're young and jacked, it's expected. You've got testosterone on your side, recovery time that doesn't quit, and honestly, society gives you a free pass. But at 60, everything changes. Because muscle at that age isn't just muscle anymore. It's a statement. It says, I didn't give up. I didn't surrender to the couch. I didn't accept the cultural script that tells men to fade into the background after 50. And women pick up on that instantly. Not consciously, maybe, but it registers. Think about Tom, the guy at your gym who's 67 and still pulling respectable deadlifts. Compare him to his buddy Greg. Same age, same height, but Greg's been letting himself go for 15 years. When they're both standing at the hardware store counter, who gets the warmer smile from the woman behind the register? Who gets asked if he needs help carrying that bag of mulch to his car? And who gets offered help without asking? It's not even close. But men miss this constantly. They think women are looking at their arms and doing some kind of mental calculation. Bicep circumference equals attraction level. Nope, that's not it. Women are reading what that physique required. The discipline, the consistency, the refusal to coast. They're seeing a man who still respects himself enough to put in the work when nobody's forcing him to. And in a world where most guys throw in the towel the minute things get inconvenient, that stands out like a lighthouse in fog. I'll tell you something from my side of things. When I see an older man who's clearly taking care of himself, my first thought isn't nice muscles. It's he's got his act together. And that second thought, way more powerful than the first. Because strength you can see hints at strength you can't. Emotional resilience, follow through, self-control. But muscle alone? That's just the entry ticket. There's something else happening, something subtle, that separates the men women notice from the men they dismiss. Number 2, the invisible factor. Alright, so you've built the muscle. You're stronger than most men half your age. But then you shuffle when you move. Your shoulders cave forward. You avoid eye contact in social settings. Women clock that immediately. Because strength isn't just about what you can lift, it's about how you carry yourself through the world. And this is where most guys completely miss the boat. They think the physique does the talking. It doesn't. Your presence does. A fit man at 60 who moves with purpose, who takes up his space without apologizing for it, who maintains his posture even when he's tired, that's magnetic. Compare that to the guy who's equally fit but hunches over his phone, rushes through doorways like he's sneaking past someone, or constantly adjusts his shirt because he's self-conscious about how it fits. Night and day difference. I was at a friend's anniversary dinner last month. Seated near us was this couple, probably mid-60s. The husband had that lean, capable build, clearly worked out, but nothing excessive. He pulled out his wife's chair, didn't make a show of it. Just did it with this quiet certainty, like it was the most natural thing in the world. When he sat down, his posture was impeccable. Not stiff, just present. 3 tables away? Another guy, similar age, similar build. But he couldn't sit still. Kept checking his watch, fidgeted with his napkin. His wife eventually stopped trying to engage him in conversation. Same physique, completely different energy. And honestly, that energy gap, it comes down to one thing. The fit guy who moves with confidence has internalized his strength. The fidgety guy is still performing it, Women sense this difference before they could ever articulate it. It's the way you reach for something on a high shelf without hesitation, how you navigate a crowded space. Whether you flinch when someone brushes past you or hold your ground naturally, your muscles give you capability. But confidence in that capability, that's what changes the entire equation. Studies on body language show people make judgments about competence within 3 seconds. 3. And posture accounts for roughly 55% of that initial impression. You could have the best physique in the room, but if you're moving through space like you're apologizing for existing, nobody notices the shoulders. So the muscle matters, but only if everything else lines up. All right, so you're probably thinking, cool, I'll just add more weight to my deadlift and work on my posture. Not so fast, because there's a line you don't want to cross. Number 3, when more becomes less. I need to tell you something that's going to sound counterintuitive at first. More muscle isn't always better, and past a certain point, it actively works against you. I'm talking about the guys who've crossed from impressively fit into walking billboard for the gym. You know the type. Tank tops year-round, veins everywhere. Arms so big they can't quite bring their hands together in front of their chest. They've built a physique that screams, "This is my entire personality." And women, we take a step back. Not because it's unattractive physically, but because it signals obsession, vanity. A man who's more concerned with his reflection than anything happening around him. At 60, that reads less like dedication and more like desperation. And there's a sweet spot. And it's narrower than most guys realize. You want to look like you could handle yourself in a crisis, not like you're prepping for a bodybuilding competition. Strong forearms that fill out a long-sleeve shirt when you roll up the cuffs. Shoulders that sit naturally wide without straining the seams. A build that suggests capability, not narcissism. The difference? Intent. Are you training to be useful or training to be seen? Women pick up on this faster than you'd think. The guy who can help move furniture without making it a whole production versus the guy who flexes every time he picks up a grocery bag. One's genuinely strong, the other's performing strength. And clothing either amplifies this problem or solves it entirely. Tight shirts at 65 don't communicate confidence, they communicate insecurity, like you're desperate for validation. Meanwhile, a well-fitted Henley or button-down that hints at your build without advertising it, that's the move. It's the difference between a whisper and a shout. And trust me, whispers get more attention. Age plays into this too. What might have looked good at 35, that stage-ready conditioning, those paper-thin skin vascularity, can look harsh and unsettling at 60. Women respond to vitality, not depletion. You want to look healthy and powerful, not like you're starving yourself for definition. So where's the line? How do you build muscle that attracts without that weird gym rat energy? That's where most advice completely misses the mark. Number 4, strength that speaks softly. So the formula everyone's been chasing? It's backwards. Most men think bigger muscles equals more attention and they push harder, add more volume, chase that next level of size. They're convinced the answer is more. It's not. The real formula is this: visible strength plus understatement plus functionality equals magnetic. Let me break that down. Visible strength means you've clearly done the work. Nobody's questioning whether you lift. Your frame speaks for itself. But understatement? That's the secret ingredient most guys never grasp. It means you're not broadcasting it. You're not the loudest person in the room about your fitness. You just are. And functionality seals the deal. Can you actually do things with that strength? Carry your luggage through an airport without struggling. Help someone move a couch. Keep up on a hike without gassing out halfway up. Women aren't impressed by gym strength. They're impressed by applicable strength. I'll be honest with you, and this might sting a little. Most muscular men over 60 come across as trying too hard. They've built an incredible physique, sure, but then they undermine it completely by making sure everyone notices. The too-tight polo, the constant references to their workout schedule, the subtle ways they position themselves so their arms are always visible. It reeks of neediness. The man who turns heads? He's wearing a casual button-down, sleeves rolled to the forearm. Maybe he's carrying groceries or holding a door open with one arm like it weighs nothing. He's not flexing, not posing, just existing in his strength. That's the whole game right there. 3 things women actually notice. Shoulders that create a natural V-taper even in regular clothes. forearms with visible definition when you're doing normal tasks. Posture that doesn't collapse the moment you sit down. That's it. Not bicep peaks, not quad separation, not how much you can bench. Training focus should shift accordingly. Compound movements that build functional strength. Deadlifts, rows, overhead presses. Not isolation work that inflates individual muscles. You want a cohesive, capable build, not a collection of body parts. And clothing? One principle. Fit matters infinitely more than tight. Your shirt should follow your frame without clinging to it. Now, all of this assumes you're doing this for the right reasons. And I think you are. But I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention this one thing. Number 5. Beyond the mirror. Look, none of this matters if you're chasing it for the wrong reasons. If you're building muscle at 60 to prove something to your ex-wife, or because you're terrified of becoming invisible, or because you think a better physique will fix everything else that feels broken, you're gonna burn out. Or worse, you'll achieve it and realize it didn't deliver what you thought it would. But if you're doing this for you, because you respect yourself enough to invest in your health, because you refuse to accept decline as inevitable, because you want to feel capable and vital for the next 20 years, that's different. That changes everything. Women respond to men who've invested in themselves, not men who are desperately seeking validation through their bodies. And honestly, you can feel the difference. The guy who's fit because he values himself carries it differently than the guy who's fit because he's trying to prove his worth. One is grounded, the other is grasping. And muscle at your age isn't vanity, it's rebellion. You're pushing back against a culture that expects men to shrink after 50, to get softer, to disappear into retirement and daytime television and acting your age. Building strength past 60 says, I'm not done yet. Not even close. That spirit, that's what women sense. That's what creates the attraction. Your physique impacts your confidence, which impacts your posture, which impacts how you show up in every interaction. It's not linear. It's exponential. The strength work compounds in ways that have nothing to do with muscle size. Most men are afraid to even start because they think they've missed their window. They haven't. Your body responds to resistance training at 65 almost as well as it did at 35. Sometimes better, because you've got patience now, wisdom. You're not in a rush. You can build something meaningful, something that serves you, something that makes the next chapter of your life feel powerful instead of passive. So Monday morning, start there. Not with some extreme overhaul, just with the decision that you're worth the effort, that you're not coasting into irrelevance, that you've still got skin in the game, because your body is the one thing you actually control. Use that. Remember that 62-year-old from the coffee shop? He's not thinking about any of this anymore. He's just living it. That's your goal. Build the strength, carry it quietly, and watch how differently people, not just women, treat you. It's not shallow. It's human nature. We respond to vitality, to self-respect, to men who refuse to fade. You're not too old for this. You're actually at the perfect age because now you've got the maturity to do it right. Not for applause, for yourself. If this landed for you, do me a favor. Share it with one guy who needs to hear it. And if you're serious about building a physique that actually enhances your life instead of consuming it, stick around. Hit that subscribe button. I've got more coming. Real talk about fitness, presence, and showing up strong in the second half of life. Because the men who win at this stage, they're not the loudest or the biggest. They're the ones who figured out that strength whispers. See you in the next one.